Alright, so I'm back with another video. Today is Monday, September 23rd. I didn't make a video yesterday. I decided to take a day off from making videos yesterday. I did still pick up my guitar and I was still working on playing it. But I didn't make any videos yesterday. I'd come up with this idea after making my video on Saturday to put a little more focus in learning the sounds of individual notes on the guitar. Because in my opinion, it's not just about being able to play or learn by tablature, but you should also have the ability to also be able to play or learn by ear as well. So I did a little bit of homework and research, looked up easy ways or techniques and stuff you can use to train your ears on how to play guitar or learn to play songs and stuff just by listening to them. And I found something, I'm not going to really show what I found or anything like that, but I found something and stuff that someone demonstrates and stuff on something you can do to help teach your ears the sounds of the guitar, which reminded me of something else. So, before I get into that and stuff, I want to go over a couple things real quick. First off, my guitar is tuned to E standard tuning, but we need to check that. I do have my guitar currently plugged into a tuner. I'm going to turn the tuner on and check and make sure that this guitar, and yes, I came back to this guitar, my fingers have built up their calluses now, so the strings on this guitar and stuff doesn't hurt my fingers so much anymore. It's a plus. So yes, eventually you get to the point where it doesn't matter what guitar you pick up, once your calluses get built up on your fingers strong enough and stuff, the strings will no longer hurt your fingers. You'll be able to play whatever guitar you want to, no matter how old or new the strings are. As long as the strings are in good shape, you are good to go. So let's start with this E. E standard tuning is what I'm going for, which again, going from the top string to the bottom string, would be E, A, D, G, B, E. Now if you couldn't hear that because of me playing them at the same time, again it's E, A, D, G, B, E. Something to keep in mind with that, when you move from one area to another and stuff, if there's a huge difference in temperature, so like example, this room may be set to, that I'm in, maybe currently at, say, 68 degrees, 69 degrees, whatever. So when I tune my guitar for this room right here, say I go outside after this and stuff and decide to start playing outside in a concert, or I go to a gym, or somewhere where the temperature may be 5 or 6 degrees difference. You should bring a tuner with you because you don't know how the humidity or the temperature is going to change the guitar. And what I mean by that is heat can flex anything. Cold and hot temperatures can flex anything. If something is hot, it'll flex one direction. If it's cold, it'll flex the other direction. And vice versa. So it's not really a good idea to consistently move stuff from one temperature to the next. And there is not a whole lot of difference in the flex and stuff, but it still does change the shape of whatever you're using, and that can go for anything. I only know this because of spending so much time in the automotive industry repairing vehicles. So, again, back to this, so let's see here. The E string, it's fairly close. It's right there on the line. It's a little outside the line, but not by much. And just a hair turn is what I mean by just outside the line. There's the A. It's right there. The D, the G, the B, and the E. And you notice I'm not just hitting it one time. I'm consistently hitting it over and over and over again because it does have a ring and a fade off. So when you initially hit it, you have one strength you're hitting it at. Now I watched a guy that was restringing a guitar, made all kinds of adjustments on it and stuff, and kept having to go through it and recheck the tuning after each change of adjustment, whether it was from putting new strings on it to checking there's a rod that goes through the center of the neck of the guitar right here to help the neck of the guitar to stay straight, and depending on that tension and stuff, if it's tight or loose or whatnot and stuff, that can change how the neck is shaped, whether it's as it's going down like this, it's going this way, and you can kind of look at it. The best way to see it and stuff is kind of looking at it like this and stuff. This one's pretty well been fairly decent since I've had the guitar. There's also this back here, the bridge, how high these strings up or how low these strings are. There's adjustments and stuff for your pickups right here, how high they sit and how low they sit on each side, sort of thing. But yes, this guitar is currently right there in tune. Now, I haven't had anything else done on this guitar except for maybe the strings being changed once since I've had this guitar for a while. But yes, if we're going to do what I plan on doing and stuff, then we need to make sure the guitar is in tune. Being off a little bit by a half a step or whatnot can really make a difference in how you're training your ears. What do I mean by training your ears? So, if you listen carefully, this sound right here, which is the E note, compared to that right there, there is a slight difference in those two. Now, I've showed you in these charts before and stuff. I'm not going to pull it up and stuff. You can check one of my other videos. I've showed you in the charts before and stuff that where all the notes are on the guitar. Good idea to get those memorized, because if you're going to start doing this, I suggest you start off with learning just the notes first themselves, and then maybe start training your ears on the halves, on the flats and sharps. But again, I'm not a teacher, so I could be wrong on that. But so yes, got the E, and then the F, and then the G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Now, the technique that the person I was watching the video used was he would play a chord, for example, the E, sorry, the C, E, G, which is pretty much this one right here, which is my middle, my ring finger there. That's the C, the E, and the G. So just three strings right there. Now, is that a specific chord? I don't know. But those are the three notes that he started off with. Working in automotive and stuff, I did happen to develop an ear for being able to find certain noises on cars. It's really helpful for multiple reasons and stuff. A customer comes to you and they say they can hear something in their brakes or hear something when they're driving down the road, whether it be an engine noise, a wheel bearing noise, whatever it may be. Training your ears to be able to hear those distinct sounds, and then can help you determine what the problem is. But first, hearing the sound is what you got to start with. You got to kind of try to get the customer to replicate that sound that they're hearing, distinguish that is the sound that you and the customer both are hearing at the same time, And then you gotta find a way to pinpoint where that sound is coming from, which is normally where you get it into a shop, get it up on a lift and stuff, and you're trying to get that noise again to replicate itself without having to go down the road. Because if you don't try to pinpoint it, then you could be replacing or trying to fix a bunch of things on the vehicle that don't need replaced, and you're guessing at where that noise came from. Well, I got pretty good and stuff at being able to distinguish between what a wheel bearing sounds like, what a brakes sound like, what different set of bearings sound like, even over the motor. If the motor is a 4-cylinder, a V6 or a V8, with a leaking exhaust, without a leaking exhaust, one of the cylinders aren't running right because it's got a back spark plug in it, whatever it may be. I got, after a while and stuff, I got the ability to be able to distinguish that. Do I still do that? No, I don't like working on cars anymore. So no, I don't get involved in that stuff anymore, not unless it's on my own vehicle. It's the only time I deal with that. But, so is it possible to hear that? Yes, it's possible for anybody to hear it. Here's another prime example of, I don't have any kids myself, but if you're a parent and you have kids, a newborn and stuff may have a different cry for a different reason, and you can tend to pick up what they're wanting by the base of their cry. Whether they're just tired, hungry, want attention, whatever it may be. Like I said, I don't have any kids, so I don't know anything about any of that. But I can tell the difference between this E and this F. Now, getting my ears to distinguish that sound, so that if somebody else was to play an F, because I mean, with my fingers and stuff, I could tell what I'm playing. But if somebody else played that sound and I had to close my eyes so I couldn't see what they were doing and distinguish if they were playing an E or an F, it would be difficult for me to do it because my ears are not trained on what a distinct E sounds like or what a distinct F sounds like. So, the way I would suggest doing it, and the way he did it and stuff, was sit there and play one note. So if you're going to use the method that he was showing you stuff, which I don't think is a bad method. In fact, I've started working on that myself because I want to get to the point to where, and I'm getting to that point. I want to get to the point to advance my ability to learn or play music in a different style. I'll get to that here in a minute though. So, he would simply play this. And yes, I'm hitting each string individually. He had the ability to also be able to just use his fingers to play all three at the same time. And I am doing my best to do that, but I'm not very good at it. But can you distinguish the C from the E or from the G? Now I will try to mute those bottom two strings so we're not actually using them. So playing a chord like that, can you distinguish the C from the E or from the G? I cannot. I can tell that there's multiple notes being hit right there, but I cannot distinguish the three of them. So if you close your eyes, and this is a method I'm going to try for a little bit and stuff, and I'm going to work on this while I'm also trying to learn how to play more songs on my guitar. But I think I'm going to include this in my practice warm-up and exercise. The obvious... But being able to distinguish those sounds is why it's so important to have your guitar in tune. You may even eventually be able to pick this up and stuff without having to take this method into consideration. I may pick it up eventually and stuff without having to. I did on cars. So yeah, it's likely that in a year or two and stuff, I just know what a sound of an E is over the sound of an F. No, but I can develop that maybe a little bit sooner and stuff, or work on distinguishing it a little earlier than what maybe I do in a normal pace. So basically, I would close my eyes. I know what I'm gonna play, but I'm just listening for that E sound. Something else he added with this: when you play that E note right there on the E string, if you can hum to it, there is a synchronized sound you get when two things create the same sound and that sound wave collides with each other in balance. It's kind of hard to describe, but in fact, this is very, very hard to describe. So if I'm sitting here playing this E right here, and I try to hum that E, when I get to the right pitch, the right sound, the right note of humming, there will be a sync or a harmony between the two. Me humming and the guitar actually making that sound. You may even be able to hear it and stuff because my guitar is making the sound at the same time the amp is making the sound. And then if those sound waves are colliding just right, there's a harmony with the two of them, and you can hear it. Now, I only got used to hearing that harmony when I was hearing two motors running at the same time, and they were in sync with each other. They were both running at the same exact RPM, and they were both running with the same amount of power. So what I'm referring to is I used to also fly RC airplanes when I was really young. And some of the airplanes and stuff, they may have two motors on them or four motors on them. Most of them only had one, but if you had both motors running at the same RPMs with the same amount of power, they created a harmony between the two of them. And you could hear it. Now, people that weren't able to do it and stuff, they would take a tool that they would put up close to the motor and it would pick up the revolutions. How many revolutions was one motor doing? And then they would go to the next motor and how many revolutions was the other motor doing? And you would have to adjust how much fuel was going in and out of each motor to make sure that they ran at both the same revolution. The reason that is and stuff is because if you got one motor running at a higher revolution than the other motor, one motor is likely to have more power and cause the airplane to pull more on one side than the other, making it want to turn. You really don't want that. You want them to run identical to each other. That way they're pulling both at the same power at the same speed. So, let's see if I can hum this at all. I am trying to do that. I can kind of hear it syncing up together, but I'm pretty sure I'm just a little off. But what about the F? Now here's the next question for you. My humming, is it syncing up with the guitar or is it syncing up with the amp? There's three different sounds right here. The guitar itself making a sound, the amp itself making another sound. Obviously the amp is louder than the guitar is by itself right now, so most likely my humming is matching up with the amp, not the guitar. And there's no problem with that, because your amp is just amplifying what you're currently doing on the guitar. If you have an acoustic guitar and stuff, it's maybe a little easier because acoustic guitar is going to have a louder sound to it, where the electric guitar, yeah, you can hear the sounds and stuff, but to be able to hum with it and to hear both of them at the same time may be a little more difficult. And that's something I know I was struggling with the other day. I couldn't hear the guitar very well over my own humming. believe I'm doing it right there. Now, what's the point of humming along with it? The humming along with it and stuff can help you with multiple things. One, if you're trying to sing or if you want to sing and stuff, you match pitch with the guitar or with the amp or whatever it is and stuff, and it'll help you sing the notes that you're trying to sing along with the guitar. That way you are singing at the same pitch of your guitar. Now, do all singers and musicians do that? No, not necessarily. They don't. And normally have the guitar as more of a background sound and then sing their own pitch throughout the song itself. So how about let's move on to the G here. So this is a good exercise and stuff that you can use to help your ears generate those sounds. Listen to them very closely. Now, where can we use this with? So, this is the point I was trying to get to, I think, before. You can learn to play songs by duplicating what somebody else does. You can learn to play songs with tablature. I've showed you that there are many different versions to tablature. 2 or 3 versions and stuff, an easy version, a harder version, a difficulty version of tablature for depending on the song you're trying to learn. But when you get into a band or a group of other people playing guitar sounds or whatnot, is the version that you know how to play and that you are using to play in that band the same version as what your bandmates are playing in? Only you and your bandmates can determine that. It makes it very difficult and stuff when you try to get into a band with other people and you find out that you start arguing about who's playing what and how they're playing, and it's not so much an issue of who's playing what and how they're playing, whether they're playing right, whether they're playing wrong, but and the argument may end up being based on that, and it may make things difficult for your band. But if one of you or all of you can realize that you're playing different versions of the same song, that can help you realize that you need to learn either the same version of the song together, or, and this is where this comes in really handy, or you all need to start learning how to play music by ear. Hear what beat the drummer's playing. Is he playing an E note on the drums? A D. I don't know if there is a difference in an E note or a D note or whatnot in drums, because I'm not a drummer and I haven't studied any of that yet. But as far as like bass is concerned, a bass guitar player, yeah, there is. If you're using multiple electric guitars, yes, there's going to be a difference in notes. If you're playing an E and they're playing an F, the sync or the harmony's not going to be right. Or if your singer's playing a much higher key, say, and I'm not sure about this either, so there is also a difference between an E and an E7. I'm not sure what that is. I need to get back into my music theory and stuff to start understanding a little more about the different notes, the different chords, all that sort of stuff, and I will eventually. But if you could sit there and start learning how to play music by ear over playing by what you remember on tablature or what someone else showed you how to play, it'll be a whole lot easier to harmonize with your own bandmates when you're sitting there trying to play music together. is you can simply adjust yourself. So you started learning this song in a B, and you find out that they are all playing a half step down at a B minor. But you only find that out because you can hear the B minor from them. You hear yourself playing in a B and the harmony is just not quite right. It's not syncing up quite right, so you shift. Or maybe it's you're playing in this B right here, but everybody else is playing in this B. Those are both B notes. Or what about this B note down here? Or even these two B notes. I mean, like I said, the E string and the high E string are both the same, so what's the difference between these two? Now, there's a very distinctive difference in the sound of that right there. So, maybe include in your exercises if you want to try to master this ability. And this ability is not something I don't think anybody can teach you how to do. I think you just either pick it up over time, consistently playing every day and stuff, and getting used to the sounds of chords, the sounds of notes, just like the C chord right here. So as I close my eyes and put my fingers into the shape of the C, would I be playing it properly? It sounds right, but am I doing it right? And yes, I open my eyes and stuff, but I've not really looked to make sure my fingers are in the right spots. What about the E? My ears are trained well enough to tell me that I am playing the right chords, because I've heard them enough. And later on and stuff, as I keep doing this over and over and over, they will also be able to tell me if I'm doing this right. What about this though? And this I know I'm going to be off on most likely because I'm still working on learning these bar chords. So that should be an F bar chord. And that's where it was right there. So my finger was way up here and stuff. I couldn't tell my fingers was way off the fret. So that's kind of the idea of it all right there. And it's not something that, like I said, I don't think anybody can teach you how to do this. I think you got to kind of either work on it over time, develop this ability, start paying attention to what you're really playing as far as hearing what you're playing. Make sure your guitar is in tune every time you go to pick it up and play it, just to make sure you're hitting those notes right and you're teaching your ear the proper way those notes should sound. E, F, G, A, B, C. E, F, G, A, B, C. So, I just kind of wanted to throw that in there and stuff. I mean, I've done a little bit of my exercising here. By this time, though, you should be able to tell when I hit this note right here, and then jump down to the next string, that I am playing the same note, just in a different pitch. So maybe that's something that could help you learn how to distinguish those notes. Find all the same notes, all the E's. There's one. There's two. try to play them together so that harmony rings out and stuff, and you can distinguish what that harmony is when you're playing the same thing. And that'll also help you learn where all these notes are on the guitar and stuff. So there's an E note on the E string. This is the D string, but an E note. This is the B string, but the E note. This is the high E with the E note. And you can hear that harmony right there a little bit. There are different pitches. At least I believe that's what that's called, a pitch. Basically, one of the notes and stuff, if you could see the sound wave, one of the notes is vibrating at more frequency than what the other one is. But you can hear the notes synchronizing because they're both being played the same. It's got this kind of its own humming sound to it. And let's see here. Here's another E note. Let's see if we can find another one. Get that one, and I know there's this one right here. And I believe so. Here's another one, I believe. Yep. I'm trying to just hit that note myself. So yeah, if you can hear that harmony right there, that's pretty much the harmony you're looking for. So when you're sitting there playing, trying to learn to play a song, I would definitely suggest slower songs. I think the song I tried learning and stuff first was, what was that song? I can't think of what the name of it was. I think it was Saturday when I was trying to learn. I was trying to learn how to play the song just with my ear and stuff, and I was pretty sure it would even play on the A string and stuff, but I couldn't. It was hard to do, especially since I also know that they're using effects and stuff, and that effect can distort the sound a little bit. It can change the way the sound comes out, so making the harmonic sound that you're looking for, it can be difficult too. But so I'm going to continue working on my exercising and stuff, warming up a little bit more. I kind of wanted to mention that and stuff because I think that being able to play music by learning off of what somebody else is doing is important, because it teaches you how to get your finger placement right and know what to look for better habits. And what you hear right there, I can hear it myself and stuff. That is me pretty much playing the note just off timing from hand to hand. So either one, I'm playing the note before I lift up, and the vibration's following through after I lift up, or I'm playing the note just before I go down on the next string. Now when I'm going through this and practicing this whole thing right here, I'm actually trying to time it right. I want to hit the string, and just after I hit the string with my finger, I want to pluck the string with my other hand. It gives you kind of the ability and stuff once you get in that habit of doing that with timing, with proper timing. There's another thing too. I keep realizing this and stuff when I do this. So when you are playing, working on exercising and stuff, you might discover songs that you know from a childhood stage or from previous something you've heard before. Whether it be a lullaby, a Christmas song, a birthday song, no matter what it is and stuff. You might discover it by accident just because of what your ears are used to hearing. I've been trying to incorporate that into a little bit of my soloing there. It's kind of a 3-step up. Yeah, I enjoy having fun with my guitar. I bought them to have fun with them. I love music. So anytime I get a chance just to sit there and have fun, play around, make up music of my own, I enjoy doing it. Especially since I've gotten to where my fingers can move very freely and stuff. I can't do it really quick, but accuracy can be much better than speed, especially if you get it all right. You'll pick up the speed later on. Now, something I have been working on and stuff, but I can't get it yet. So I play the note, hammer on with my pinky, and yes, that can be a struggle for a lot of you and stuff because that pinky is not used to doing that sort of thing right off the bat. And then holding the same string down with your middle finger, but pulling off with your pinky. Now I don't have my amp turned up very loud, so you can't hear it very well, but I'm not so focused on that as much as what I am about getting the accuracy down. I can tell you right now, playing up here, getting your speed down on these notes up here at the top can be a little easier to learn at first because you don't have to necessarily have your finger up here at the top holding the string down. Well, right here and stuff, it sounds a little bit better when you do. For example, if you go from, it's a huge jump from there to there. Now, it may not sound terrible, but when you're trying to do something down here, huge difference in sound. That's why I say it may be a little easier to do it up here first. Plus, the frets are a lot farther apart, so if you can get used to stretching your fingers out for the additional notes. Now that right there, if I play that, I'm actually playing the same note because this is actually an A right here. There's that harmonic sound you can hear when you're playing both the same notes. Anyways, so yeah, I think I'll leave that with that and stuff. Again, just basically put another video out there to show that I am picking my guitar every day, working on learning how to play and stuff. It may not be a new song, but it's exercise for my fingers, and that's what matters. If I want to learn a new song, it's just about having to create the memory in my mind of either the tablature or what I see somebody else doing into my own memory and stuff to be able to know to do these things right here. For example, solo part from I Love Rock and Roll. Yep. Sort of thing. So, anyways, I'll leave you with that for the day. If you have any questions, comments, any tips, I do appreciate them. If you're learning how to play and stuff and this was helpful, great. If this inspired you to pick up your guitar in front of the day and stuff and keep working at it, trying to accomplish maybe something I'm doing right now or something somebody else is doing, that's the point of this. So until my next video, enjoy your day.